Disclosure Day is a return to the sci-fi genre from legendary director Steven Spielberg. It stars Josh O'Connor, Emily Blunt, Coleman Domingo, Eve Hewson, and Colin Firth. Easily one of the most anticipated films of the year for myself, I was chomping at the bit to see what new vision Steven Spielberg had in store for us. Sci-fi movies of this scale don't come around that often, and when one of the greats is returning to the genre that birthed some of the best American films of all time, it's hard not to be super excited. And even with that built-in anticipation, Disclosure Day absolutely blew me away. It ran with a pretty simple premise, exploring themes of empathy, humanity, and the power of information in a way that took me completely off guard. The film presents itself as your typical sci-fi thriller, including most of the tropes found in other Spielberg classics like E.T. or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. However, it used those cliches to tell a sprawling, multi-layered narrative that will keep you guessing until the final credits. I was amazed with how well this narrative was able to land, as it goes off in tangents quite often that would feel convoluted in any other circumstance. There were several times where I felt myself feeling a bit lost, only for the film to pull me back in by introducing yet another interesting wrinkle. A tonal balance is struck beautifully here, blending elements of riveting tension, dream-like fantasy, and raw human emotion. Spielberg has a real knack for elevating material that on paper could come across as incredibly corny into something that with immense substance and weight. And Disclosure Day may be his best example of this. In fact, the movie partly serves as a meta-commentary on his own work, reflecting on themes that featured in his past projects. This can be felt most prominently in the visual department, with Spielberg creating a visual language that aims to modernize his classic motifs. And while that may sound pretty self-indulgent and obnoxious on the surface, I found it to be one of the film's strongest attributes in execution. Those decisions always felt very intentional and never like they were trying to prey on your nostalgia or trying to get you to go, hey, I remember that from this movie. It always just felt like he was looking back inward and saying, this is something I've been talking about since the start of my career, and I'm just now realizing why I kept going back to that conversation over and over again. The ending of the film acts as a quasi-capstone for Spielberg, culminating decades of work into one truly powerful moment. Really, that entire third act is what catapulted this movie into greatness for me. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the performances here, as most of the cast hit it out of the park. Josh O'Connor continues his hot streak with his specific charm slotting into the prototypical Spielberg protagonist role seamlessly. Coleman Domingo, who I kind of read as the self-insert character for Steven Spielberg, brought a ton of heart into the film. And Emily Blunt gives a fantastic performance, really portraying the several emotions touched on in the script in a way that felt incredibly earnest and raw. She tapped into something very real with this role, and without giving away anything, I think she delivers some of her best scenes to date. Seriously, Emily Blunt is amazing in this movie. So much of this movie shouldn't have worked, like I mentioned previously. Spielberg has that knack for elevating stuff that on paper I would have went, no, don't do that, that's a bad idea, that's going to be incredibly ham-fisted when you put it to screen. And this whole movie is a testament to that, and how he just gets you to buy into whatever he's trying to sell to you. It's very, very awe-inspiring. And in terms of negatives, I don't have a ton to say when it comes to Disclosure Day. I guess at times, the villainous Wardex Corporation and its spearhead, played by Colin Firth, could be a bit generic, but I found their role as a censoring governing body to be incredibly pointed and imposing. Through those characters is where we get some of the film's strongest commentary. And yeah, the script can feel a bit bloated in places, but never enough to truly disengage you from the film. Any warts that this movie may have only really serve to make it an imperfect experience, never truly bogging down the overall product. While 2026 has been a very solid overall year for new releases, I've been waiting on that one truly special movie to set the standard for what the rest of the year was going to look like. And it seems as though Disclosure Day has finally brought us that benchmark. This is, at least for me, the first truly great movie of 2026, and I'm not going to be able to stop talking about it for quite some time. Spielberg delivered yet another classic, and if this turns out to be his last, it would be a fitting end to an illustrious career. So with all that being said, I'm gonna have to give Disclosure Day a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, this is my highest rated of the year so far. I will say there is a part of me that's like, maybe on a rewatch, I won't be as in love with this as I was the first time around. I won't be as swept up in it. But man, I left the theater grinning just because I was awestruck by what Steven Spielberg was able to deliver us here. And I'm not even the biggest Spielberg fan in the world. Yes, like his classics I think are among some of the best, but he hasn't really been all of that consistent in like 30 years. So to see him deliver yet another sci-fi classic like this is truly inspiring, and goes to show that you can't really count anyone out no matter what their age is, or how long they've kind of been on a lower, not terrible, but been on the lower end of their career in terms of quality. Like, you can't ever count out these kinds of directors. So it's very inspiring to see someone like Spielberg return to us with this kind of movie. Let me know what you guys think of this movie in the comments down below. Do I sound crazy by praising this movie this much? Because there is a part of me still that's like, I don't know, maybe I went a little too overboard with the praise. Maybe it's not that good. But what I'm feeling right now is, no, this movie is genuinely that great. And it deserves to, be seen by everyone. I hope this becomes a big blockbuster for the summer, because it's very much akin to something like Close Encounters with the Third Kind, and it's meant to be seen by a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this, but not really mixed, but like, I guess conflicting is what I'm going to land on here. But again, let me know what you guys thought of this movie. I thought it was a masterpiece. What did you think of it? Please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you want to see more content. That always helps me to get more videos out sooner to you guys. And yeah, other than that, I will see you with the next review. Thank you so much.